Hello everyone. So in this video we'll configure multiple data sources in Spring Boot. So first of all we'll create a MySQL database server on Google Cloud Platform using the VM. Then we'll create a Postgres database server on a Azure VM, and then we'll configure multiple data sources the same to MySQL and Postgres into Spring Boot, and then we'll fetch the data from a different DBs. For example, we'll create a user DB and users table in MySQL and product DB and products table in Postgres database. So let's get started. Now let us create a virtual machine on a Google Cloud platform, and then we will create our MySQL and deploy the MySQL server over there. So I'll just go to the GCP Google Cloud, and in search I'll just select the compute VM, and I'll just create an instance. This will be an Ubuntu Unix instance, and currently the cost is $25, but I'll just choose the spot VM because just we need to delete after the demo, and I just choose the operating system is in Ubuntu. Select it, allow HTTPS, and click on create. So, alright, so I'll just go into the firewall and I'll allow the 3306 port so that outside can access. So just select the firewall and I'll just copy this. So this firewall allowed uh, the MySQL port over here now virtual machine. So I'll just select a virtual machine and edit it. So apply the rule. Alright. So let's save it. And here if you can see SSH. So I'll just click on the SSH so that we can get into the VM and we can now install the Docker, and then using the Docker we'll install the MySQL and we'll create the table and the insert statement over there. Now we are connected to the machine. Now let's do an admin user, that is sudo su, and first of all let's update the package using the apt update command, then update the say apt upgrade. These are the two commands which required for before any installation. Now let us install the Docker. Say yes. And now let us install the MySQL using the Docker. So this is a command docker run the detach mode. Then you have a port 3306 container and outside port. Then you have a name MySQL container, and then you have an environment variable which is required MySQL underscore root underscore password, which is in caps, and my password for the MySQL is root 123, and the image name, that is MySQL colon the latest image. Alright, so now we will use the docker exec minus interactive, and then let's first of all check whether our MySQL is running or not. Okay, so it's running. So now let's do a docker exec it, and then a container ID, that is you can start only the first two letter only or first one letter if it is in unique one, and then use a bash. Now you are there inside the container. Just simply type MySQL or MySQL u, that is user, that is root, and then password set, that is p. So we just need to enter the root 1 to 3. Now we are inside the MySQL. What I will do is I'll just simply create database users db, and I'll just say use users db. Okay, and then I'll create a table for users. So this is a table, create users, create table users, ID, first name, last name, email, and role. Okay, and then I'll just um, create a 5 insert statement. So now our table has been created, users. Okay, now we will I'll check some client. This is an SQL client, and I'll just simply say create which required a host name and IP. So I'll just go to the our compute VM. Here we can see the external IP. Just copy it and paste over here. And password is root 1 to 3, and user is a root, and rest of is a network type library. You can use any DB client. This is an free client, HDSQL. I just click on this open, and we have now let's check um selection and select start from user. So from the outside VM we can access the database. All right, so MySQL has been successfully installed. Now let us create and deploy the PostgreSQL on another database called simply we will deploy or create a VM on Azure side, and we'll create and deploy the Postgres server over there. So I'll just go to the Azure. You can use any Google Cloud, or maybe AWS or Azure, DigitalOcean or Linode, or you can have a local database as well. But I just want to make it look like a production server. So select the virtual machine, or you can search for virtual machine, and I just click on virtual Azure virtual machine, and create a new resource group here. First of all, I just simply say VM Postgres, and I'll just go with a default one, Ubuntu server, and I choose a password. So just username is my username, simple. Any username you can use. Password, you can use your password. Again, there is no compulsion that you can use Azure VM. You can use any VM you are comfortable with. And I'll just click on review and create, and click on create. Now go to the resource and click on this connect. Click on this select native SSH, and it will provide a command. Okay, right. I just simply copy this one, and just go to the git bash SSH, and simply say it has not been copied properly. Say yes, and the password of the VM. And now I'll just log in using the admin. And first of all, let's do the apt update and apt upgrade. Now try upgrade. Now let us install the Docker because we will install a PostgreSQL container using the Docker. So docker.io and say yes. Now I will use a Docker command for the Postman. So this is a Docker run D name Postgres container, and then we have a default port is 5432, and then we have a Postgres password that is root123, and then Postgres is our image name. Okay, so now let's check whether it's Postgres is running or not, and it's running. All right. Now let us get into the container docker exec say it, and then the container name that is here container ID. So just use because we have only one. So I'll just use the 2 letter and say bash. And now we need to use a PSQL, okay, and then user post that's an -u Postgres. All right. Now our Postgres is we are inside the Postgres database. Now let us create a new database. Create database products DB. Now I will create a simple product table here in a Postgres. So table has created. Now let us try a select star from products. So currently no rows are there. So now let us insert the 5 products. Okay. Now let us see select star from products. All right. So now we have successfully created and installed a Postgres SQL on Azure VM. Now let us create a Spring Boot application. So I'll just go with the start.spring.io. I'll choose Maven. I'll go with the latest one. All right. And then I'll just give the name is multiple db demo. All right. And I'll add dependency called web and generate. Go to the download folder, just copy and put into my work folder spring boot development, and here I will paste it. Just extract it. Okay, and I'll open it in a IntelliJ IDEA file, open and give the path name and open this project, new window, and here is our application. So I'll just open this with the Spring Boot application and let's try to test it. It's working fine or not. Okay, so yeah, it is started. So now let's stop it. And now we need a two data source Maven dependency, Postgres and MySQL. So what I will do is first of all we will have a JPA dependency, right? All right, and then we need a MySQL dependency. So I'll just open a MySQL connector, and then we need a Postgres SQL runtime. Alright, and I'll just go to the Maven and refresh the Maven so that I can get all the libraries into my. Alright, now I will require two data source. So what I will do is I'll just go to the application dot property, and this is my first data source for MySQL connection. So we have a JDBC hyphen URL. Make sure that when you have multiple data source, then this is a hyphen is there. So JDBC data source, and then you have a JDBC URL that is a MySQL, then username, password, and the driver class name. And then you have a Postgres data source. So Spring data source 1, Spring data source 2. So we have multiple data source. So now let us create a config um, package over here. What I'll do is simply a package config, and in that config I'll create a class called data source 1 config, and I just have configuration so that it can be picked up by the Spring Boot autocorrect. And then I'll just say configuration configuration property, and this is a prefix Spring data source 1. So this will be for MySQL, right? This is data source 1, and I simply say return data source builder dot create dot build. So similar same I can do for a Postgres, and this is a data source 2 config, and here I will choose 2. Okay, and so this will pick up this data source 2 properties. If you see, these are the prefix for Postgres, and this is the prefix for MySQL. Alright, so looks pretty okay. Okay, alright. So let me try to run it, and we will get some error, or I will show you how to do it, how to resolve it. Okay, so here URL attribute is not specified, no embedded data source could be configured. Okay, we also need this as a bean, and here also we need @bean. Let's again try. Okay, so here in this case we need again, this is a 2, so again let's try. Okay, so in this case we need one data source, at least one data source to be the primary data source. Okay, so I'll just put data source 1 config as the primary, and now I will try to rerun the application. And now our application is running. We have a 2 data source has been created successfully. Now let us display the data from both the data source. Though we should, a normal practice should be a repository class, and then you have server class, and then you have controller. But for the sake of the demo, that we are just interested in creating the data sources, and to show that it is feasible and it's very easy, I just simply say create a controller. So first of all, let's make a package, or I would say rename, refactor, rename CRONTLLER. Okay. And inside the controller package, I'll just simply create app controller. Okay. And I'll annotate with a REST controller. And here we need two auto wire. So first of all, we just need to check whether it's a bin name. So first of all, this bin name is data source 1 and the another bin name is data source 2. Okay. Now let's auto wire and I will simply say data source 1 and I'll just simply qualify data source 1. Okay. The similar way I'll this is a MySQL data source and now I'll just go for a Postgres. So for MySQL we have users data and for Postgres we have products. Okay, and what I will do is simply um, create a JDBC template from data source 1 and query from users and the JSON format, but it will not be JSON. This will be a plain text because we have a simple query on that, a text query. So this is a simple JDBC template. We have data source, we have simple SQL, and we are running the MySQL. So let me restart the Spring Boot application. And now let's go to the Postman. And in the Postman, I'm just running the query. So we have all the data, but these rows, don't worry about whether it's a JSON or something because we have not created any sort of a model. We are just again interested in checking the data source. Alright, so now we already successfully got the data from MySQL. Now let's try the same thing using the PostgreSQL. So this is Postgres, and now let's try to run it. Again, I'll restart the application. Now let's go to the Postman, and instead of user, I'll try products, which is coming from PostgreSQL. And yes, we have successfully got the data. Again, very simple. We just have to make sure that we have a proper qualifier name, bin name, and the same bin has been used as qualifier over here so that we don't get an ambiguity over there. We don't get any error again. So the better practice is you create a repository and service class and all. But again, to show whether how the multiple data source can be created into the Spring Boot. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.